So do we clap on 3 or right after 3?
It's like right after 3, like 1, 2, 3, snap.
So 1, 2, clap 3.
Oh God, I'm not playing this game with you, Cory.
I got it.
So, to all the fans out there, how you doing, my crackers? What's going?
I'm out. Good night, everybody.
I'm just kidding. We'll drop that. We'll drop it.
Happy New Year, everyone, and hope that you survived your Christmas.
I was gonna say, yeah.
We are coming to you after Christmas, and I hope that you survived it. I'm not gonna wish that you had a good Christmas, because I think given the circumstances right now, a lot of people are stressed over having a Christmas. So I just hope that you survived it. That's it. Just fucking survived it. Unlike Jake, he didn't survive his Christmas because he tried to do this whole show with his sunglasses on.
That's true. I often do. Oh yeah, man. Christmas is a time of joy and not really.
No, it's not. Fuck it. No, it's not, dude.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. Like Christmas, when I was a child, I loved it.
Yep.
I just really don't care for it much these days.
You know what? I'm almost with you. As Christmas, when my children were children, it was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Christmas when I was a little fella, when I was a young warthog, a lot of fun. Now I have adult kids. They're all out of the house. I didn't even put up a tree. I didn't even put up decorations outside. I mean, and I was like, I have a almost a fucking garage, a corner of a garage full of Christmas decorations. Little porcelain cities. Thousands of dollars worth of Christmas decorations. Because every year I used to host Christmas at my home. And my whole entire family would come over. And every year it would be a different theme. So when I started planning the fucking theme in June. And I'd start buying stuff, and soon as Michael's put out their freaking Christmas decorations, I was there grabbing all the garland and all this other crap. And so I have I have a silver theme, I have a poinsettia theme. I have themes for Christmas and decorations and all of those Amazon boxes, and I haven't touched them in 4 years. Not one thing has come out.
Yeah, I love Christmas for my niece and nephew. Like that's great. I like to see that they get very excited and they're very happy. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the lights, because here's the thing about all the lights and stuff on the houses. They look great at night. They do. They look great. You ever just drive past one of those houses during the day though?
It looks like a plastic snowman massacre scene.
Yeah, it's horrible. I hate it.
It's disturbing. I mean, my neighbor's house across the street from me is the exact same way. I opened up my garage the other day during the day, and I have the backup camera like most cars do, and I see my neighbor's front yard in the distance, and it just looked like someone went down and just unloaded an AK-47 on all of his snowmans, and they were just lying dead in his yard. It looks so sad. And then when the sun went down and he flipped the switch, it's like, jolly old St. Nicholas, lend your ear this way.
Yeah,
but other than that, it sucks.
I almost prefer Halloween, because it's like Halloween decorations are already supposed to look kind of tacky anyway.
Right.
So then during the day, it's like, yeah, they're just still tacky.
Now let me ask you this. If you were to do the Christmas tree deco and stuff like that, are you a colored light person or are you a white light person?
I like white lights. It's classier.
Yep, I'm with you. I don't own any color bulbs. I will do color.
Tacky.
I will do color light splashes on the wall from with spots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my Christmas tree, all
like
white
red and
lights.
Green on the garage or whatever.
Well, I don't really decorate outside. The only decorations that I had outside is that one year, my son, when he was home, I think he was 15, he wanted one of the little blow up snowmans. And, he's 15 and, I was still trying to impress him. So I go and I buy the biggest fucking blow up snowman Home Depot had to offer that year. And he's like 80 feet. And that's what we put in the front yard. And then we had a dead lemon tree in the front yard at one point. And I bought one huge, large red bulb. And I got some green fabric from like the fabric store. You know, this is all pre-pandemic. And we made the dead lemon tree look like Charlie Brown's Christmas tree. Because Charlie Brown's Christmas tree had one little red bulb on it and a little green cloth on it. And then we put a long wreath from Martha Stewart on the front door. That was the extent of what and I had 2 little candles in a window above the front door. And that was the extent of Christmas decorations outside. Everything else, the magic happened inside.
I'm very much like, if I'm going to decorate my house, which right now I live in an apartment, so it doesn't matter. But like, I would want to decorate the outside of my house more than the inside of my house, because that's who's gonna see it, is the outside of my house.
Yeah.
Who am I decorating for the inside? Myself? I don't care.
Dude, I did it to show off for my family, man. I've gone as far as having a freaking low-lying fog machine in the house for Christmas. So when they walked in, the whole floor was covered in fog.
I'm into that for Halloween.
And I've had, if you ever need a low-lying fog machine, bro, I got one in my garage. If you ever need a fogger, I've got one in the garage. The juice may not be any good, but I got one if you need one.
You get some new juice, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I've gone all out, and I did more inside than outside. I had the city under my tree. An elaborate city with the train going around it, and I have this cute picture.
Yeah, my dad is like that. Totally.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen your dad's setup one year, many years ago, and
he's all about trains and Christmas stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a beautiful picture of AJ when he was like my son when he was like 9. I want to say, just kind of like leaning down, taking presents from around the tree. I had a custom base, but all that shit's in the garage now, man, and it's going in the yard sale that I'm planning on having next month.
My friend, he does it right. What he does is on Halloween, around Halloween, he will decorate his house, like the outside of his house, with like Jack Skellingtons and spiders and stuff like that. Yeah. And then at the end of Halloween, he just puts Santa hats on all of it. And
that's kind of cool. That's kind of. I mean, because it's like Jack.
That he's like then yeah, and then he's got Christmas lights, and then he doesn't have to touch it until. It's
like a nightmare. Christmas. So it goes from Halloween to a Nightmare Before Christmas scene.
It's way lazier than that. It's literally he just puts he'll just put a Santa hat on a spider. It's like really lazy.
Now,
but I love it.
As an adult, I think this is where I'm normally the preacher against relationships. Outward relationships. I don't mind secret ones, but
yeah, I
think that the holidays would be the time that, my heart does grow 2 sizes larger when it comes to the holidays, because I think that as an adult, if I was in a relationship or had a committed person, someone that I was close to, it would make the holidays a little different.
I hated that shit
with the kids being, of course, because your soul is full of gadgets. But because then I would I would be the person that I wouldn't expect it in return. I'm a showman. I just want to put on a show. And if I have a captive audience by someone that I'm committed to, I can put on a show. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want anything back. Just give me the opportunity to put on a freaking show. And that gratitude, the gratitude that I need is just the surprise look and excitement on their face.
It's nice, like the ice skating and
No, I'm not talking about all that shit. I'm just talking about just doing nice things around the house, having a reason to cook. Like I don't even have a reason to cook right now.
I like doing that kind of stuff though. If I have a significant other or whatever. Because it's like, this is a time to do special things with my significant other that I would otherwise not do,
Yeah, like you can go one thing I would do if I was in a relationship right now, I would throw my significant other in the trunk of my car and drive to Mesa Art Center, because they have sock skating, not ice skating, sock skating, where they basically put big old huge shiny pieces of white plastic on the ground. You take your shoes off and you skate across that bitch with your socks on. That looks like fun. I used to do that for free in my living room in my church socks when I was a kid. Now you can go down to Mason. They got it looking like it's a big old huge ice rink, but it's not. It's socks. There's no water. There's no ice. It's just it's just really shiny, clean plastic, and everybody's just out there rubbing their feet fungus all over it. That looks like fun. I would do that if I was in a relationship right now. But Jake didn't want to go. So the thing that I was trying to no, I would do stuff like that. It's only around the holidays where it's like, I wouldn't mind waking up next to someone and kissing them, saying good morning, Merry Christmas. Nah. And then go back to our sexless relationship.
Yeah, that's that's how it always is, dude. Anyway, we got a big packed show.
We got
today.
A big packed show for you, and I'm going to kick it off with you for the new year in a way that I'm going to make up right now off the top of my head. Let old acquaintance be for 5, 6, 7, 8.
What is up, boyos? This is the Jake and Cory podcast. I'm Jake. That's Cory. What's up, Cory?
Two things, Jake. I don't like the fact that you don't vape anymore. And second, I've been looking through my photos through this whole opening of the show, and I can't find any of your nudes.
Oh, yeah. I set them on a timer. I always send them through, what's the one? Snapchat. Yeah, that's the one.
Gets me every time.
Always send them on Snapchat.
And I'm too embarrassed to screen cap it because then you get an alert
lets you know.
that says, hey, the creeper that you sent these nudes to screen capped it. Thank God I have another iPhone that I just hold over this iPhone.
Yeah. Just you got like these like shitty looking JPEGs of all these nudes.
Gotta have backup porn.
Yeah.
I did get myself a new Christmas gift though. Actually, I got myself two. One I talked about on Fat Guy, and I mentioned the second one, but I didn't go into details. So brace in, Austin, for a little crossover. I got myself an iPhone 13.
Okay.
But I'm getting I'm having my first experience with the iPhone 13 Pro with the supply chain. That motherfucker's back ordered to the middle of January.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my Christmas gift to myself on top of the new bed. But the phone, because this, my 7, yes, I have an iPhone 7. I have worked this thing until I couldn't work it no more. I mean,
so you've had that phone for 6 years.
Yeah. It barely stays on Wi-Fi at this point.
Yeah.
And it's barely hanging on. And it's
I usually upgrade every 3 years. Yeah.
It still works. I get text messages. I can send dick pics. I can accept dick pics. It still works to my needs.
Love to hear it.
And my desires. But it's on its way out. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. Here's what I did, though. I'm with Verizon. And I don't like that like they bill you for like 2 years. Like you can pay like $33 a month on top of your regular bill. Fuck that. What that really is them holding you on their service for the next 2 years. That's the new way that they lock you in a contract. Fuck you, Verizon.
It's a payment plan, yeah.
It's a payment plan, but it's a payment plan on their service. And if you at any time, you cannot switch from their service, because if you do, you have to send the phone back.
Yeah.
You know, so it's almost a new equivalent of a cell phone contract. Fuck you, Verizon. I'm not doing that. I pay for the bitch upright. You can lick my bag. You're not locking me in for 2 fucking years, even though I'm not going anywhere, because everywhere I go, there's a Verizon tower on the top of the building and I get the greatest service. But still, I didn't want to do that. That's the only thing that I didn't want to do. I was like, screw that. Don't bill me on a monthly. I need my bill. The only thing that they had to do to get the iPhone 13 is I had to go on their stupid unlimited plan. So my bill went up. I'm like, oh, that's how you got me. you make me go to your fucking unlimited plan, because right now I've been surviving on like 4Gs a month. And because everywhere I go is Wi-Fi. So I never even come close to using 4Gs. I never come close to using 1G. When I had my kid on the plan, he would blow out the 4Gs in the first 4 days of the month with the shit he was doing on his phone. But I kicked his ass off Verizon, put him on the little green cricket, and he's happy as a lark right now.
Yeah.
But I get myself a new iPhone 13. I know you're not an Apple guy. But
how are you liking it?
I haven't gotten it yet because it doesn't. It doesn't ship out to the middle of January.
That's right.
Because of the supply chain issues. So, but you know what didn't get affected by the supply chain issue? Verizon running my damn credit card. That didn't delay, motherfuckers. That went right through. They got their monies.
I actually like that though. Like when you order something and it goes right through, because on Amazon it doesn't go through until it ships. So then it's like you think you paid for it, and then it ships, and you're like, "Whoa, where'd my money go?" Because you forgot you like bought the thing. Yeah, that's happened to me before. So I'd actually prefer that they just take it out.
Yeah, I decided to do it. I bit the bucket, and you know what? I've actually, believe it or not, as much as an Amazon, not Amazon, an Apple apologist that I am, I know that I could afford. There's stuff that does better than Apple in certain fields and that are cheaper. But I've never actually ever had the latest iPhone. I've always been one or two models behind. And then when I do upgrade, I upgrade to a model or two behind the current model. I've never ever had the latest model of iPhone. Never in my entire iPhone.
Feels good, doesn't it?
No, I don't know, because here's what's going to happen. And
you don't have the phone yet, though.
I don't have the phone yet, but I know what I'm anticipating some problems already. Because of my Apple computers, our older Apple computers, I may have some problems syncing the new iPhone. I may have some problems with that because it's going to look for a newer operating system that I may not have. That even happened when I got the 7. That even happened when I went from one iPad to a newer iPad. The newer iPad wouldn't talk to iTunes, the iTunes application I have, because the iTunes application was on a older OS operating system. So I'm anticipating some issues.
This is why I don't fuck with Apple.
And then this is probably why I'll probably be down at the Apple store after the phone gets here buying a new freaking iMac, because it'll be like, well, I need to be able to sync up my phone.
That's how I get you, dude. This is why I don't fuck with Apple. Fuck them, dude.
So I buy a $1,400 phone, and now I got to go buy a $2,800 computer just to be able to control the $1,400 phone. And I'm stupid. I'll do it.
Yeah, I know you will.
I love Apple, man. I'm a fucking bitch. I know I am. I can get a $50 Droid phone and go buy a $200 computer and everything will be fine.
I had an Apple MacBook Pro, and it just felt like one day I upgraded the what's it called, the operating system, and it just pooped out. And I'm like, why? And then it was like a hassle to revert it. And it's like, I feel like you're purposefully breaking my computer. Yeah. And Apple has had lawsuits where they've lost lawsuits where they are doing exactly that. I do not fuck with Apple. Fuck them.
The operating systems were designed to destroy the hardwares. The hardware. Old hardware does not work with the new operating systems. And yes, they've been sued several times and they've lost those suits. And even in their terms and conditions, they tell you just right up in front now.
Yeah.
They tell
I don't
you
fuck
right
with
up
them.
front.
But everyone's like, oh, we gotta get the Apple because it's silver and it's metal.
I got the graphite.
No,
I got the graphite.
Yeah.
I got the little D colored one.
Anyway, Cory, I think, it's the end of the year, it's the holiday spirit.
The hell you say?
I figure it's been a while. Since I've done a movie rundown where I've run down all the movies I've watched. I figure we do it. What do you say?
I wish I had my Hooray for Hollywood bed. You can put it in post. Hooray for Hollywood. Ba-da-da-da-da-da, Hollywood.
Yeah, we don't need it. We'll just sing it. Yeah, it's all good.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
Jake, what you been watching?
well, I was gonna ask you first. Have you watched anything before I get into my list here?
I mentioned it before, I believe, on this show. Encounters with Octavia Spencer.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that.
Did you get a chance to take a little peeky at that yet?
I haven't watched it yet. I know it's on Amazon. I don't have an Amazon right now, so.
Oh, I do. Just we'll take care of that after the show.
Yeah.
And since you don't have an Amazon, I won't go to my normal joke, which was, why do you refuse to love me? So, since you don't have an Amazon, I will give you my Amazon. I think we can share our Amazons. Just don't buy anything because it's tied to an account that I don't monitor. So if you bought something, I probably wouldn't even catch it.
Probably shouldn't tell me that.
Damn it! Damn it! All the heck! But I watched that. That was like I think the last movie, that I've watched. I've been punched in the face over Spider-Man on social media. Everybody's been going nuts about that movie. But Encounters was the last thing that I've watched. So, but I'm interested, and I have my notepad ready because, as you know, when you do your movie reviews, I do like to go and look at some of the ones that they sound interesting to me, especially, when I'm like up late trying to cook a turkey.
So as I go through my list here, I'm going to try and skip the ones that I've talked about over on the Lonercast channel.
No, do crossover. Austin loves it.
Yeah. Well, like the Marvel movies, I have full episodes for all of the Marvel movies where I go into great detail with Nick about all the Marvel movies we watched. And, and I've done some, what's it called? Car reviews where I see a movie and then do a review in my car. I might cover some of those movies, but I'll try and
skip some of those. Can I Snowpiercer you right now? Basically take you off the rails. Get it? Snowpiercer. Take you off the rails.
I gotcha.
Did you do a show with my Austin or was that your Austin?
Oh, that was my Austin.
So that wasn't my Austin?
It's not your Austin.
I don't
Different Austin.
I don't like that we have dueling Austins.
Too many Austins.
We got
too many Austins.
I will say this, at my Austin
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
My Austin is better than your Austin, though.
I mean, there's no debate there. That's true.
Have you seen him? He's dreamy.
Yeah, because I did, for the listeners, I did just do a hour and a half review / discussion of Spider-Man No Way Home with Austin Allison of Collider.com.
Not Cory's Austin.
Yeah, not Austin Dietrich, who has appeared on this show once or twice.
He hosted the show with me. So we will now refer to Jake's Austin as the wrong Austin. And I have the right Austin.
Indeed.
Sorry, Jake's Austin, but suck it. Okay, Snowpiercer moment over.
All right, let's get into it because there's
movies. See, I did
there's a lot of movies here, so we're gonna get through this.
Hit it, baby, go.
All right, first movie was The Incredible Hulk, but we'll skip that because I did a video on that. But then I watched this movie, Snake Eyes, and I was excited about this movie. It's a G.I. Joe movie, right? But it's about the character Snake Eyes.
Okay, I was going to say, wasn't there... I was thinking G.I. Joe for some reason.
Yeah. It's a G.I. Joe movie, but it's about the character Snake Eyes, the guy that wears the mask and he's like a ninja or whatever. But this
I used to have that character in the toy when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was it's like an origin story about him, and from the trailers I was excited. I was like, oh, this looks like a fun action flick, and I saw it and it was so boring. It was like the most boring movie I've ever seen.
Oh damn.
Not good. Yeah, not good at all. It's unfortunate. It had a lot of potential, but it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2, you can go to the other channel. Sorry. Oh God.
Oh, he's getting all choked up over Iron Man.
Yeah, Justin Hammer, I love him.
Does it to me too.
Jungle Cruise. with The Rock, and Emily Blunt. Is that her name?
I think so.
Yeah, that movie is fine. That is how I would describe it.
It's just movie. A big old bucket of okay.
Yeah, it's like Disney was like, we have this ride at Disneyland called Jungle Cruise. How do we make this profitable? We'll put The Rock in it. And,
the ride at Disney sucks.
Yeah, and they do incorporate some of those like shitty jokes into the movie, which I appreciate.
I love you, Disney, though. I'm afraid of you.
It felt like oh god, it's so forgettable. I watched it so long ago now. It's a very forgettable movie, but like it's kind of like, what if we did like a really cheap versions of Pirates of the Caribbean, and yeah, that's what it felt like. Just really cheap Pirates of the Caribbean.
So like an Acme version of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, like a comedy action is what it was on the sea, you know. But it was fine. I really like The Rock. I really like Emily Blunt, but like it was meh. So then I watched Suicide Squad, Cory, from 2016. Suicide Squad.
Where is that? What did you watch it on?
I watched it on HBO because I was watching it before the new Suicide Squad, which is called The Suicide Squad. And the original Suicide Squad, which has like Will Smith in it, Margot Robbie,
the alligator,
the alligator. That movie is so boring. I remember seeing it, not the new one, the old one.
What?
Yeah, I remember seeing it in theaters and being like, that was kind of fun or whatever. I rewatched it. I'm like, this movie is so boring. Nothing happens. I don't care about any of these characters except for maybe Margot Robbie, and every other character is bland. Will Smith is just Will Smith again, you know, and it's just like,
dude, he killed them. He killed them. Own
what
it.
What does that mean?
Own that shit. When what's his name is talking about the guy with fire that killed his family in the bar.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's the thing about the movie is you get to that bar scene, and that's the only moment where you're like, oh, these guys are actually kind of friends.
Yeah, that's the only scene I remember.
And then at the end of the movie, they're like, we're like family. And it's like, what? You are? I don't think you are at all.
Dude, I don't think we've ever talked about the fact that you didn't like the original Suicide Squad. They could blow them up with the black lady and the little Palm Pilot she had.
Yeah, and you know that's an old comic. You know, it's from the comics or whatever. And I love her. I love Amanda Waller, that character. She's great. Like, but the Suicide Squad was like, hey, you remember that shitty movie? We're gonna fucking make it amazing.
Where did you watch it?
It's on HBO Max.
All right, I might need to borrow your HBO sign on.
Yeah, you should definitely watch it. It is a good movie. They bring back Amanda Waller, like the same actor.
Yeah, because we thought she was dead in the first one, but she really wasn't.
Yeah, she's back. Margot Robbie, this is probably like the best as her as Harley Quinn. I love her.
I love her.
We've got King Shark, who is played by Sylvester Stallone. He's amazing.
Okay, you're selling me on this. Because I like the first one. I wanted to see the second one.
It's so funny. It's directed by the guy who did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
With the
and
talking
it's
rat?
Just a tree.
No, I thought it was a talking rat.
That's the one with like I Am Groot.
Oh, I am Groot.
Oh yeah, I guess like Rocket Raccoon is a rat.
Yeah,
I guess.
He's a rat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's a really funny movie, dude. It's really worth watching.
The Harley Quinn character was the best character to me out of the original Suicide Squad. So if you're saying that they bring her back, she has a solo movie too, right?
Yeah. Her solo movie, which is called it's called Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of One Harley, or the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, is a fantastic movie as well.
Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah, it's great. I love it. It's got you and
watch it.
I think it's on HBO as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. It might be just called Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey now, but because they changed the name because it's too long. But yeah, that's a great movie too. So yeah, I highly suggest The Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow. The Suicide Squad.
You're weird. You just say things sometimes.
No, that was the. If I have to explain the joke, it's not funny. Austin's LOLing right now. My Austin. Good Austin.
The next movie I watched was The Green Knight. This was like a very art house, like A24 type film. And it's sort of like a fable. It is a fable. It's based on like an old fable where like the knight, a tree comes and he's like, you must come and fight me or whatever. So he like goes on a journey to go fight this giant tree or whatever. And it is a very bizarre and beautiful movie. Quiet. It's very slow paced. It's very art house. It's very, it's good though. It's really good. But
so
prepare yourself for a weird fucking movie.
So you're saying that the guy looked at the tree and said, I'm going to come.
I'm going to come. And actually, there is a weird scene with cum in this movie.
I'm in. Do you see where the cum comes out of?
Not very close. Yeah, it's a very weird scene with cum in this movie, actually.
I need you to start putting that in the lead. Because you keep burying the lead. I need to know if there's full frontal nudity in these movies. Because that's what I'm really basing my
There's some nudity.
On.
There's some nudity in The Green Knight for sure. It's a weird one though. I don't think you'd like it very much if I'm being honest with you.
Well, you thought I wouldn't like the one where they burrowed to the center of the earth, but I LOL'd.
Well, The Core is like a cheesy, stupid romp. That is your type of movie for sure. You
don't know me like that.
This is like Oscar bait, you know. This is like look at how pretentious. It's a very pretentious movie.
Where did you watch it?
I saw it in the theaters. I was like one of two people in the theater. Yeah, it's one of those movies.
All right.
I liked it though. It's pretty good.
So it's not out on streaming yet because I'm not going in the theater.
It is.
Where is it on streaming?
It might not be streaming, but you can like buy it or rent it or whatever.
Oh, screw that.
You can rent it for like $2. Free Guy, which is that movie with Ryan Reynolds. That's the one where he's like in GTA. He's like an NPC in Grand Theft Auto. And then like he ends up realizing that he's in a video game and he's like, how do I stop the game? And it's really a cheesy, stupid movie, kind of weird movie, but it's fun. It's a fun time.
You had me at Ryan Reynolds in GTA because that's half of that is my world. GTA.
Yeah,
I wonder if it looks like the video game.
It's a really fun movie. You might actually like it.
What was it called again? I'll write it down.
It's called Free Guy.
Where did
it's one of the bigger movies. I saw this one in theaters, but it should be on Disney Plus now. I think.
I think I may have Disney Plus.
And fun fact about this movie, this was one of the last movies Fox was working on before Disney bought Fox. So technically it's a Fox movie, but then Disney bought it and they definitely like Disneyfied it a little bit. But it's still pretty good. I thought it was pretty fun.
It just came out.
Yeah.
It's not going to be on streaming yet.
I think it comes to streaming like next week. I'm not even kidding. The turnaround window on these things are much quicker these days. Like Encanto, the movie Encanto, which we'll get to that in a minute. But the movie Encanto came out. It's still number 2 in the box office, and it comes to streaming next week.
Mm.
It's still number 2 in the box office.
I just searched it. Oh God, it's 2 hours. I just looked it up and Google it and it says it's on YouTube, Apple TV, and Amazon Prime for cost
to purchase. Of course. Yeah. I think it's coming to Disney Plus though.
Okay.
In like
there,
a couple
there is a movie that I have written down that I wanted to see that I haven't seen yet. It was called Black Friday. I have a Post-it note on my desk that says Black Friday, Disney Plus, middle of December, and I don't know why, but I think it's a movie.
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it?
No.
I'll have to look it up.
The next movie I watched was a movie called Reminiscence, which is starring Hugh Jackman.
Oh.
And it was a new movie. I watched it on HBO Max because it was like one of those movies where it came to theaters on HBO Max. I ended up watching it on HBO Max. It's like this guy runs a company where if you go use his machine, it lets you like relive memories. Which is like a cool concept. And then it just turns into this really stupid romantic action thriller thing. And it's just very, very unenjoyable. Like it has such a cool like setup, and I love Hugh Jackman, and but they just totally, it feels like a shitty B movie, like the romance is so forced and cheesy. It's
I like the concept of a machine allowing you to relive some memories. There are some memories I wouldn't mind reliving.
Yeah, and it's really cool because like and it's like set in like almost like a post-apocalyptic world where like they live in Florida, but Florida now kind of looks like, what's the city where it's like surrounded by water with like water?
City of Atlantis.
No. Like in Italy.
I don't know.
Like Venice or whatever.
Yeah, I think Venice is the city that's sinking.
The one where like the roads are literally like water and you can like take boats and stuff.
Yeah, because they got the gondolas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it is Venice.
So it's like the water has risen so high that like Florida's like that in this movie too. So like everything is like underwater and shit and things are falling apart.
It's foreshadowing.
Yeah. So like it's got a cool concept, it's got a cool world. Some of the action bits are fun, but like the romance is just, it's not there. The script is not there. The twists are like not even twists. They're just like, that was stupid.
They're not twists,
And,
they're
like,
bends.
Yeah, it was really stupid. The next movie I watched was Woodstock 99, which is actually a documentary about the Woodstock that happened in 1999 that turned into a colossal disaster, and it's very fascinating.
I've actually seen that. You weren't alive when that happened, but I've actually seen that documentary. You were not.
I was alive in 99.
You were born in 2009. I saw that documentary.
It's really fascinating, and
it's very interesting.
Sad.
Yeah,
like
really sad. But
Just
the
to, like,
original Woodstock also wasn't as organized either.
Yeah, it had its issues, but it was more peace and love and stuff.
Yeah.
Where this one was more like, hey, let's get new metal bands here like Slipknot and Limp Bizkit, and people were going crazy. A lot of girls were assaulted. Yeah. At the end, there was like fires lit and like, you know, the whole thing was
pregnant there.
It was just like a total disaster, which is because actually 6 years earlier in 94, I guess it was 5 years earlier, 94, there was a Woodstock, and that one was much better because it was more in the vein of the original Woodstock, where it was like peace and love, and we had Green Day and stuff like that, you know, like more just kind of friendly. But,
and we still have Woodstock to this day. We just call it Coachella.
Yeah, Burning Man or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. That's on HBO Max, worth watching. The next movie I watched was The Protege.
The Protege.
Which was an okay movie. I was excited about it because it looked like a John Wick type movie starring Maggie Q and Michael Keaton.
Beetlejuice.
And I love Michael Keaton. He's great in everything.
He's amazing.
Yeah, and he's good in this movie too.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Jackson is also in this movie. He's pretty good in it. It's a fun movie, but I would say it's like not as good as I had anticipated. Some of the story beats like just don't hit right. Some of the action is pretty but it's a fun enough movie. I guess the weirdest part is that Michael Keaton is like 70 something years old and doing these action things. And also Maggie Q, I think, is probably like maybe 40. And they like fuck in this movie. So like a 40-year-old fucking a 70-year-old is just sort of weird to me.
Answer my question before I even ask.
I don't think there is boobs.
There's no full frontal nudity?
I don't think so. There's a sex scene.
Boobs?
Yeah, I don't think there's a sex scene, but I don't think there's like straight up nudity.
Ah.
Lots of blood though.
Close enough.
It's pretty okay movie. I saw it in theaters. The Notebook. I watched The Notebook.
You are such a queen.
I am a queen. The Notebook's fantastic. It holds up really well. It really does. I'm not even just saying that. It's a really good movie. Ryan Gosling is such a goddamn treat in that movie. And like you watch that movie and you see Rachel McAdams and you're like, I get it, girl. I want Ryan Gosling too, because she throws her entire life away for this guy. You're like, I would do the exact same, because Ryan Gosling is such a fucking dreamboat in this movie. And the chemistry, oh my God, the chemistry between Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling. Oh my God. I swear they were just fucking on set.
Oh.
Like you just watch it and you're like, God, that's palpable. I can feel it. I can feel it.
Could you get it done to it?
Oh yeah, I could definitely.
You could get it done. Any full frontal?
No full frontal, but there is a lot of sex scenes and stuff in that movie. You've seen The Notebook. Come on, get real.
I know. I'm not. I don't know who I'm trying to kid.
The next movie I watched was Val, which I've actually talked about on this show. It's a documentary about Val Kilmer. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, we got into a fight over Val.
We did?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember either.
Shang-Chi came out this year and it's fantastic. I did a big video about it. It's a new Marvel movie. It's one of the better Marvel movies. I would say the second best Marvel movie to come out this year besides Spider-Man. Fantastic movie. Really good action scenes. Like it's just it's a good time.
It's a good time.
I would highly recommend you watch that one.
What is it called?
Shang-Chi.
Do I have to read it?
No. It's a Marvel movie, dude.
Oh, I don't get the Marvel movies.
But this one is it's like an origin story and it's fun and it's
all right. Spell it.
Shangchi. It's on Disney Plus.
All right, I have Disney. I just checked.
Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings.
God bless you.
So the next movie I watched was a movie called Malignant. Oh
no.
My God, this movie, dude.
No. Please tell me this is not what I think it's about.
Okay, tell me what you think it is and I'll tell you what it is.
Does it have something to do with disease?
No.
Human disease and death? Because when I think malignant, that's what I think of.
So
malignant
it does have to do with death.
Malignant tumors.
So this is a movie directed by James Wan, okay? And James Wan directed the first Saw movie. He also directed the Insidious movies, but then he went on to direct Fast and Furious 7, and then he did Aquaman. So, he kind of moved on to like big blockbusters. That's what he does now.
Well,
this was kind of him being like, I want to make another like horror movie.
So it's a horror flick.
It is kind of a horror flick, but what's fun about this versus like Saw, which is just a straight up like horror thriller, like people just dying constantly. This one is more of a slasher flick, where it's more like a Jason or a Freddy, where it's like someone trying to kill you, and it's oh my God, I almost don't want to ruin the twist, but I'm going to because it's an old movie.
Spoiler alert!
It's not that old. It came out this year, but like, I mean, come on, it kind of
flopped. Spoiler alert!
But so like this girl, her husband gets murdered, and she's like, how did my husband get murdered? And then she finds out, like, she hit her head and finds out that, like, she had a twin that grew out, that was, like, attached to her back, right? And attached to her head, and they shared a brain. And she grew up in this orphanage, and they cut her, like, twin off of her, because it was evil or whatever. So they're like, we'll save the girl because she's good. So when she cracked her head open, it started growing out and, like, taking control of her body. And then, like,
my God,
it is so ridiculous, but so fucking awesome, dude. And when the twist comes that it was, like, a thing in her head, it is so fucking ridiculous and awesome. I loved it so much, dude. It's worth watching. It was on HBO.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh God. The next one was also a horror movie called Dear Evan Hansen.
What?
Dear Evan Hansen is a musical adaptation of a Broadway play called Dear Evan Hansen. And if you don't know what this play is about, it's about a kid who goes to school with this other kid. Evan Hansen goes to school with this kid named, I forget his name. We'll just call him Todd. I forget his actual name in the movie. Okay. So Evan Hansen goes to school with Todd. Todd's a fucking asshole. He's a dickhead. And he ends up, like, signing Evan Hansen's broken cast or whatever. Evan Hansen has to write, like, notes to himself because his counselor's like, you should write notes to yourself every day. The bully, Todd, steals the note that says Dear Evan Hansen on it. Turns out the next day that bully, Todd, committed suicide. And when his family found dead Todd, the bully, they found that note, and it said Dear Evan Hansen on it. So they thought that Todd was best friends with Evan Hansen. Evan Hansen just goes along with it, and he's a horrible person throughout the movie. He's supposed to be a high schooler. The actor who portrays him in this movie looks like he's about 58 years old. The music is just, like, so over the top and stupid. The play just is, it's horrible. It's like a really horrible message.
Is it like a stage play?
It was a Broadway musical that they turned into a movie. And it's awful. Never saw the Broadway play. Maybe the Broadway play is better, but the movie was fucking terrible. Next movie I watched was Venom. Venom. Gotta get him. Did you hear that Eminem song? Venom. Gotta get him. Venom.
Yes.
Gotta mean Venom. Venom.
You know I'm an Eminem fan.
Venom is a terrible movie starring Tom Hardy. Basically, Sony gave Spider-Man to Marvel. They gave it to Disney, and they're like, well, we need our own. Cory, I would need your attention, please. Thank you very much.
You have my attention. I'm looking at the movies that you're mentioning.
Yeah, sure you are. Venom is basically Sony's answer to Disney, like, hey, let's make a really shitty movie about one of Spider-Man's villains. And I watched Venom for the first time this year.
That's the guy with the tongue.
Right. I watched the first one because the new one was coming out this year, and I was like, I should probably watch the first one before I watch the second one. Mm-hmm. So I watched it. It was awful. I hated it. I thought it was really cheesy and stupid.
Aww. And you're right. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I know. And then I went into the second one, which is called Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Which Carnage
that was a
is
2?
Yeah, it just came out this year, which is why I watched the first one.
Okay.
But Carnage is one of my favorite comic book characters. I love him. He's great. And this movie was a bit more fun because I think they're like, hey, we are a stupid movie and we're going to be a stupid movie throughout this entire thing. And they're like, you know what? Instead of making this like a 2 hour and 15-minute movie like most superhero movies, we're going to be an hour and a half. We're going to get you in here, have a fun time, have some action, have some stupid jokes, and we'll just wrap that bitch up.
I do love stupid jokes.
yeah, it was for what it was. It was fine.
You watch it in theaters, or where did you watch it?
I watched that one in theaters. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was okay. I would not be like, oh,
bucket of okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, oh, this is gonna win all the Oscars. You know. Yeah, pretty okay will. Movie. So leading up to James Bond, Cory, No Time to Die came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
And No Time to Die was supposed to come out last year. And I had been looking forward to it for over a year because I'm a huge Daniel Craig fan. I love him as James Bond. Casino Royale is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Skyfall. So leading up to that movie, I've been rewatching some of those movies. And the one I happened to watch was Skyfall. I rewatched Skyfall, and goddamn, Skyfall is so good. First of all, Adele's opening track, with Skyfall, it's awesome, and the imagery of like James Bond being grabbed by that giant hand and stuff, it's so good, and the villain is just perfectly villainous, and like the story of him kind of being like, having this like son-mother relationship with him and M is really good. The gadgets are fun. It's really campy as well because there's one scene where like the villain shoots a rocket launcher at James Bond and it misses him, and they're in a subway, and James Bond is like, "You missed," and he's like, "Or did I?" And then a big train comes out of the hole. It's fucking awesome. It's a great movie. I love that movie. And then I watched Spectre, which is the movie after that. It's not as good of a movie. It's almost kind of a bad movie. But, we got to see the new villain is good. I like the actor that plays him. We get to see kind of a Bond, that we haven't seen in a long time, kind of probably since In Her Majesty's Secret Service, which I'm a huge Bond fan, so I'm sorry. But back in Her Majesty's Secret Service, the movie ends with him getting married, and it's great. And this movie ends with James Bond getting married. You're like, oh, that's great. And then, but it's still kind of like a bad movie. It didn't really feel like it really wrapped things up for Daniel Craig in a good way. So then No Time to Die came out, and this movie was fucking awesome, dude. It's exactly how I wanted Daniel Craig's tenure as James Bond to end. It's fantastic. I won't spoil the ending, but it's a fantastic ending. Rami Malek as the villain is really good. There's some real cool action bits in it.
Isn't that one still in theaters?
I think it just came out on video and stuff, so you can go rent it and stuff. It's fantastic. If you're a Bond fan, go see it. If you're not a Bond fan, I would highly recommend it. Probably watch Casino Royale first, maybe. But yeah, it's a great movie, dude. I really, really loved it. And I've actually heard a lot of people that are like, I'm not a Bond fan, but I saw No Time to Die and it was great. I love Billie Eilish's song, No Time to Die, and the imagery that goes along with it is fucking phenomenal. James Bond is so good at that. I'm also excited that this movie came out so they can start working on the next James Bond, because I'm excited where they go with the franchise from now. Now that they're moving on from Daniel Craig, I'm excited to see like who's gonna play Bond next. I'm just a huge Bond fan. I love Bond. I love the crew, M and all those peoples. I love them.
You tried to get me to watch it, and I haven't invested the time yet.
Yeah, they're great movies. They really are. Well, half
the
of them are
James
great.
Bond thing is cool to me, but I get it. He's a rich boy with a lot of tricks, and he saves the world.
Well, I would say Daniel Craig's Bond is the most interesting of all the Bonds. I would say he's the definitive Bond, because in the other Bonds, like, back when it was Pierce Brosnan or Sean Connery, they were more like
I've seen.
Yeah, they were more like we're hoity-toity and
shaken, not stirred.
Yeah, shaken, not stirred. We like to fuck. That's kind of their whole personality. Where James Bond with Daniel Craig, it's more like this guy is broken. This guy kills people. He feels bad about it. He kind of is like soulless, but you're rooting for him. And he's got a license to kill, as they say. And he's great, dude. He's so good as Bond. He really recontextualized Bond. Also, up until Pierce Brosnan, so Sean Connery, Roger Moore, all of them, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, all of their Bonds were technically one character. They were all the same character, but Daniel Craig's Bond was actually a definitive reboot of the character. So like he's not the same guy as Sean Connery. He's a new guy. The Casino Royale, the first movie he did, is him becoming James Bond, him becoming 007. Mm-hmm. So that's also why I really like Daniel Craig's version of Bond, because you kind of get to see him from start to end. It's like a full story arc within these 5 movies. It's really awesome.
Makes sense.
I'm a big James Bond fan, man.
Big James Bond.
I'm James Fond of James Bond.
I see what you did there.
Thank you. After that, I watched a movie called The Last Duel, which this movie was so fucking good. It was a Ridley Scott movie that was written by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, starring Matt Damon and Adam Driver. And
Adam Driver, dreamy son bitch.
He's fucking phenomenal in this movie. It is about the last trial by combat ever done by the French Parliament. It's based on a true story, so like they're knights, and so Matt Damon's wife gets raped by Adam Driver, who is Matt Damon's like good longtime friend. And they, to prove it, they're like, well, we need to let God decide if this is true or not. So they do a trial by combat, and whoever wins the duel is correct in the eyes of God or whatever. And the way they tell the story is really interesting. It's so you get to see it from Matt Damon's perspective, who is like the husband. Then you get to see it from Adam Driver's perspective, the same story, who is the rapist. And then at the end, you get to see it from the woman's perspective. And goddamn, it's a phenomenal movie, dude. And it completely underperformed at the box office, which is such a shame, but it's kind of understandable because it's kind of a movie that's more, the target demo is probably an older audience who are probably still not willing to go to a theater. I'm just a theater nerd. I love Ridley Scott. And Ridley Scott sort of said some shit about like how these millennials don't go to movies and they're the scourge of the earth or whatever.
He turned off his base, basically.
Well, and everyone's like, hey, Ridley, you realize that do you mean Gen Z? Because millennials are like 40 years old, dude. I don't know. We're the ones seeing your movie, dude. But yeah, I thought it was a great movie. Ridley Scott said some stupid stuff about the future of the cinema, but I understand because the movie didn't do well. I think the marketing was poor for it. I said the title of the movie and you're like, what's that? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it.
That says everything. It's a great movie, though. I think it's out on video now. I would definitely recommend watching it. It was probably one of my favorite movies of the year. Like, no joke. I really, really loved it. I thought the sound design was great. Yeah, I really, really fucking loved it. And then the next movie I watched after that was a movie called Last Night in Soho. Which was a movie directed by Edgar Wright, who did like Shaun of the Dead and what's it called? Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He directed those movies. He's a great director. This was his first time doing like a horror movie, I guess. It has some issues, but it's so flashy and like beautiful to look at. Anya Taylor-Joy is phenomenal in it. The other actor who's in it, whose name I am completely forgetting right now, she's great in it too. She was in Jojo Rabbit, great movie as well. It's an interesting movie. It is a very interesting movie about like this girl who wants to go to fashion school in Soho, and she has like she like kind of looks back at like the 50s 60s as like that's her dream period, you know, a modern girl, and she like looks back at it and she's like, oh, those were the times, you know, I wish I was alive in the 50s or 60s or whatever. And then she has these like weird flashbacks to this girl who lived in the 50s, and then some weird stuff starts happening. Yeah, it's a weird movie. It's interesting. I liked it though.
Where did you watch it?
I saw that one in theaters.
And of course,
I saw that one in theaters. Another one I saw in theaters was a movie called Spencer.
What? How? I don't even know where these. I don't even know of half of these movies you mentioned.
Spencer is definitely going to be up for some Oscars this year. This is about the movie about Princess Diana.
Oh, okay.
Which, you know, her maiden name is Spencer.
Now it's starting to ring some bells, some Christmas bells.
And Princess Diana was played by Kristen Stewart. And goddamn, she was phenomenal in this movie. Mm-hmm. If you think of her as the Twilight girl, you should probably stop, because she is actually really, really good in this movie. This isn't exactly like a you know, autobiography about Princess Diana, or, you know, it's not like her life story or whatever. What the movie is it's like, this is probably what it's like one Christmas dinner with Princess Diana. So the movie takes place over 3 days, and it's kind of slow paced. It's kind of a weird movie. It's very artsy fartsy, but it's really, really good if you're into that kind of thing. But I would say this movie's probably not for everyone. Like, I'll say that right away. Like, it's not for everyone. It's a very artsy movie. It's very slow paced. I'm sure a lot of people went to it and were like, that movie sucked and was boring. But I thought it was great. I was enthralled by it the whole time. I thought Kristen Stewart's performance was just out of this world.
I think I remember seeing and hearing something about it, but I never pursued it.
Yeah, I hope she wins some Oscars for it.
Yeah, I heard of it. I heard on the Newswire when they were planning on making it, and then I believe I heard about it again when it was released, and that was probably the last thing I heard. But the story, anything surrounding Princess Diana, I mean, that's such a tragic story of such a beautiful human being involved in such what has just become more and more of a wretched, destroyed royal family, which all royal families pretty much are. But Princess Diana, I don't know why, she cultivated the world. And
this movie doesn't go into like her death or anything like that. It doesn't go into any of that. Oh, okay. It's more just like, man, her life was tragic even before that. You know, like, it was just, her life sucked, you know, basically is what this movie is. So very good movie. I liked it a lot. I have 4 more movies on here.
Do 2. Keep the audience wanting more.
Next movie I watched was a movie called Encanto.
I tried.
Which was a new movie. What do you mean? You want me to end the show? Like,
no.
Like, we're keeping the audience. You know what's going to keep the audience captivated? Being like, oh, I'm so bored by your fucking conversation. Yeah, really.
I didn't say that. I'm not saying that. You're projecting on me.
Yeah. Encanto is a movie. It is a new Disney movie, actually, about a family who everyone in the family has like powers. Except for one member of the family. And it's kind of about them. And it's a really great movie. It made me cry. It's really sweet. It's a Disney
Is it the
movie,
middle child
you know?
that doesn't have powers?
There's like a lot of children, so
Oh.
you know,
It's probably the middle child. The middle child's always left behind.
and it's really great because like the movie has like some Spanish in it, but it doesn't subtitle it. It's like, just figure it out, you know? And I love that. It's like encouraging people to learn more than one language. I love that.
Babble.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's really sweet. You know, Disney always has like a little animation short before their movies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the short before this movie is really sweet and made me cry. It was really fucking good.
Impossible, because your heart's 2 sizes too small and your soul is full of gadgets.
I cry at a lot of movies, dude. I cried at Spider-Man, the whole fucking movie.
You
I was
cry
like,
at movies,
my
but
God.
you crapped on me wanting to wake up next to someone Christmas morning, kiss them, and say Merry Christmas. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, I'll cry tonight, though.
Me too.
Yeah. It's a great movie, though. Encanto is really sweet. If you need to watch a movie with your kids, watch it. Also, just watch it as an adult. It's fucking great. I love every character in the movie. The songs are great. The songs are done by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who did Hamilton.
Yeah.
And the songs are really good and really fun. Yeah, I really liked it. It's really good. Next movie I watched was a movie called House of Gucci, which was also directed by Ridley Scott, who directed The Last Duel. Only this movie did much better in the box office, and that is for one reason and one reason alone. Lady Gaga is in it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say full frontal nudity.
There is a weird sex scene in this movie for sure. It also has Adam
frontal?
Driver in it.
Is he full frontal?
Close to it, yeah. Yeah, but it has Adam Driver in it. Adam Driver and Lady Gaga are fantastic in this movie. It's about the Gucci family and about some of the scummy stuff that happened in the Gucci family and about how they don't actually own Gucci anymore and why that is. And one of the Gucci sons, who's played by Adam Driver, married this woman who's played by Lady Gaga. She ends up killing Adam Driver in the movie, and in real life, this actually happened.
Yep. They are the unfamous Kardashians.
Yeah. They were famous though. Yeah, they were just kind of the Kardashians. They were the Kardashians before the Kardashians, for sure.
The Kardashians of the 60s.
Yeah. It was it's a pretty good movie. It has Al Pacino is in it. Jeremy Irons is in it.
But a lot of that stuff, I remember hearing about this movie. A lot of that stuff is based on true story because they were really a dysfunctional, fucked up group of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were really broken.
And I would say that's one of the issues with this movie is it has a hard time deciding whether it wants to focus on like the coming murder, that Lady Gaga does to Adam Driver, or if it wants to focus on like the family dysfunction. Yeah. So the movie takes place over the course of like 3 decades, but the concept of time in the movie is really hard to understand and follow. Mm-hmm. So I would say like that's kind of one of the biggest issues with the movie. It's not a perfect movie, where I would say The Last Duel is like a fucking perfect movie. This movie had some flaws, but Lady Gaga is phenomenal. Adam Driver's really fucking good. Jeremy Irons steals the show. It's just fun. Always good to see Al Pacino back doing stuff. So yeah, I thought it was a really good movie.
Where did you watch it?
Take a guess.
HBO.
I saw it in theaters.
Close.
I've been getting ready to see the new Matrix movie, Cory.
You just saw that was the old Matrix movie just released. Released.
The Matrix Resurrections, when this podcast came out last week, right? I haven't seen it yet because I just haven't had time with Christmas and all that stuff and seeing Spider-Man a million times. So I just haven't had time to see it yet. But to prep for it, I rewatched all the Matrix movies. The Matrix, the original Matrix, is probably my favorite movie of all time. I love that movie. it changed cinema. It holds up really well today. It's got the perfect amount of cheese for me to be like, this is a good time, but enough like symbolism and meaning for me to be like, this is good. And also, it's the first movie I ever watched where it made me question reality, and that's just awesome, dude. What other movie makes you be like, are we in a simulation? So yeah, the first Matrix.
Someone please unplug the machine.
Yeah, the first Matrix, awesome. Love that movie. Love Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith. Like, so fucking good, that movie. Yeah. But then the Matrix Reloaded happened. And it's got its moments, like Neo fighting all the Agent Smiths and stuff is fun. But it just is like, what is happening in this movie and why? Why is this happening? And then, what is it, Reloaded or whatever the next one is? I watched that one too, and I was just like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this movie a thing? It's so bad. The acting's stupid. It's like the Wachowskis who directed this movie and wrote this movie are like, oh, we're so clever. And then you watch it and you're like, that's not clever. That's just stupid. It's like, well, yeah. But that's, and I'm sure the new Matrix is going to make me go, because it also, like, they're making a new Matrix, and in the last Matrix movie, Keanu Reeves dies. Spoilers. He dies in the last one. So, like,
you can't say spoiler after you give the spoiler.
Yeah, but it's also like a fucking 20-year-old movie, so suck my dick. But like, how do you make a sequel to a movie that for a character that's dead? I guess I'll find out when I see it.
It's a prequel.
It's on HBO. It's on HBO Max, so I might just watch it on HBO Max, so I don't have to go to the theaters. But yeah, yeah, that's all the movies I watched.
You did it. I wrote down 4 movies that I'm going to pursue out of your list, and I will
Please share.
Like I did last time. I will bring those back and tell you what I thought of them.
Yeah, please share. Which ones did you write down?
I wrote down The Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Birds of Prey. I've always wanted to see that. Free Guy. And Shing Ching.
Ching Ching.
Ching Chang China.
So a bunch of superhero movies.
Are those all superhero movies?
Yeah.
Oh, they are superhero movies.
Yeah.
Free Guy wasn't a superhero movie, was it?
That's true. That's not a superhero movie.
You said GTA and I was in.
Yeah.
Because my world is nothing but GTA. We were talking about it earlier this week.
Well, next Halloween, we'll watch Malignant together. It'll be a great time.
I will watch it with you. I will not pursue to watch it on my own. I don't do horror movies. And
it's not scary.
And when we do watch it, it will be 3:00 in the afternoon.
It's not scary. There's no like jump scares. It's just really stupid and cheesy. It's just like really funny.
Maybe we'll watch it on my new iPhone 13.
Dude, I have to say about Malignant, I turned that movie on not really knowing much about it. I'm like, it's a new James Wan movie. It's a horror movie. Let's watch it. I'm watching it. I'm like, what the fuck is happening in this movie?
Are your braces making you say James Fond on purpose?
James Wan.
Oh, I thought you said James Fond.
No, James Wan directed Malignant.
This is what happens when we do a show at 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah, true. But
James Wong.
I'm watching this movie and I'm like, what is happening in this movie? This is weird. There's a bunch of people dying. And then it gets to a point in that movie where I just go, oh my God, this is the cheesiest thing I've ever seen in my life. I love it. And I went from like, I'm not sure about this movie to, oh, this is the best movie I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. It is so fucking good, dude.
That's how I felt about Encounters. It was weird, but it was great.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to see. But I did write 4 down, and I am going to pursue them. I'm going to probably start with Free Guy because it has GTA in it.
Yep. I've got Encounters on my list, so I will check that out.
Yes. And I'm going to, I was looking up how to actually how to share my Amazon Prime with you.
Okay. We'll discuss that after the show.
After the show. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jake did it. That's Jake's movie review. And we did it. Happy New Year's, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'll put the links to part 1 and part 2 of this year down in the description. So
Subscription.
Definitely check those out. And
one day when Jake is done with his COVID convoy, we might have a video presentation of the show one day.
I mean, we could do it now virtually, right?
Nah.
I could do it on my end, like I do all my other shows.
Nah.
We could discuss this off air.
If it's with me, we have to have lighting, makeup persons, wardrobe. Austin.
Yeah, let's get Austin over there. Anyway.
No, I love it.
That's
I'm going to watch some movies. I am. The ones that you
That's
listed.
the show. I appreciate it. Everyone go see Spider-Man. It's fucking awesome. I love you. Check out the Lonercast channel. And goodbye. Also,
5, 6,
check out
7.
Fat Guy Snackable.
We're doing okay on that. You guys don't have to look at that. Actually, no. Please keep watching Snackable because there's a couple episodes where y'all just went. It's like, damn, nobody wanted to watch that one. 5, 6, 7, 8.